Good morning and welcome to the Stick with Rick. This week we have a special episode for you. It's pretty hot out there this week. It's getting into the hundreds. I don't like cooking outside, but I do like cooking inside. I'm part of a competition right now, my favorite chef. And part of the next set of competitions is you got to use King's Hawaiian bread to come up with your own recipe. So I'm going to show you guys part of that today. And my wife also asked for homemade sangria. Now, neither one of us drink alcohol, so this would be a non-alcoholic version. Now, to make a good homemade sangria, what you need to do is start off with some fresh fruits. Get you a lime, get you an orange, some strawberries, get you a pineapple. You want to wash them off, get them all cut up. Alright, after you get them washed off, since I'm making a King's Hawaiian recipe, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and zest the orange, zest the lemon. I'm going to mac that with my barbecue sauce. Alright, we've got the orange and the lemon zested here. Set that to the side. Go ahead and cut that up, peel it. Make sure you got yourself a good strong instrument to use here. Makes it a lot quicker, a lot easier. I like cooking, folks. Growing up as a kid, watching my mom cook, watching my uncle, it taught me a lot. I learned quite a lot at my mom's house. She went through some unfortunate dishes when I was younger and learned how to cook. Kind of felt bad for her sometimes, but now, when she comes to visit, she knows she's always got some good food to look forward to. I've always felt when you cook for somebody, that's sharing part of your heart, part of your time. Something you can really sit down and appreciate, have a good conversation with as you enjoy each other's company. Good food always helps go a long way with that. That's why a lot of business meetings are done over dinner. That and the alcohol. Which brings you to the sangria I'm making this week. Almost done here with this orange. Throw that in. Cut you up the lemon. Alright, now we're going to toss that out. Be right back. Alright folks, the next part is the pineapple here. Go ahead and cut the head off of that. Start making your way around. Cutting off all the bits you don't want to eat, all the pointy parts, the husk of it. Alright, we got that nice and cleaned off there. Go ahead and chop that down into chunks. Now folks, since this is sangria, you don't really have to have precision when it comes to cutting this. Just make them small enough that people can put it in their mouths and enjoy it. Go ahead and throw that in there. Now generally I'd make this with tequila, because to me tequila goes a long way when you're drinking alcohol and it doesn't taste real bad. Alright, so now we're going to add the liquid ingredients. We start off with some sparkling red grape. And now, since we couldn't find good fresh strawberries, I went ahead and got some sparkling strawberry. And then finally, the most important ingredient, which you normally use rosé wine mixed with sparkling rosé. We don't have the wine. We're not making this alcoholic, like I said. But to me, that's the most important part of this ingredient, is a good rosé wine. And you're going to add your 7-Up. This is what's going to mimic the alcohol in the content. Careful that it doesn't fizz over on you. Alright, and then I'm going to drain off these Mendocino cherries here, save the juice. And I'm going to use that for my barbecue sauce later on. Add my cherries to the fruit and those sparkling juices. The last step here, sweeten it up just a little bit more. 2 cans of pineapple juice. Now, folks, you're going to want to mix that all up nice and good, till a lot of those bubbles up top dissipate and kind of smoothens out to look like a drink, and not kind of like a froth. Now you're going to want to let that set for a couple hours. Let the fruit in there soak up all the flavor, all the alcohol in a traditional one. It'll be a mighty tasty drink later on tonight. Alright, now we can really get to the meat and potatoes of things. These King's Hawaiian rolls. Now the goal is to make a specific rim-inspired dish. So what I've got here is a good roast. I want to stab that a few times with a good knife. Nice and deep here. We're going to make a marinade. Put this in the fridge overnight. That way tomorrow when we cook it, it'll be nice and tender. Able to pull this apart, make a good barbecue out of it. So you can just stab it quite a few times here, get it ready. Okay, now I'm going to marinate this in. I'm going to take 1 can of pineapple juice. Add Mendocino cherry juice. And 1 can of coconut milk. Alright, now you want to mix that around, make sure it's all good. Then you're going to get yourself a big gallon-sized bag. Put the meat in the bag, pour this mixture into it. Let it sit in the fridge overnight. Let it soak up all that nice fruit juice. Alright, now that we got the meat in the fridge, it's time to start on the sauce and all the base ingredients. Now we've got our lemon and orange zest from earlier. I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. Now you want to mix all your kind of dry ingredients first before you add anything wet. Make sure everything gets a good mix. I'm going to add teaspoon of ginger. Gonna add half a teaspoon of white pepper. You're gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. One cup brown sugar. And you want a half a tablespoon of dry mustard. Now this should make for a nice, interesting mustard sauce based on ingredients out of the Pacific Rim. Much like most things that I make, I've never attempted this before. Like a sangria, the first time I made it, I never drank it, didn't know what was in it. I googled some of the ingredients. It's for my wedding, it's quite important. Went ahead and made it. Turned out my entire in-law family loved it. I never drank the stuff. I didn't even drink it on my wedding day. If you fast forward a couple years later and I was sicker than a dog, I couldn't get over it no matter what medicine I took. But her uncle, after I made the sangria for the family, suggested I'd take me a couple drinks of that. Well, I drank an entire gallon, and the next morning I felt wonderful. But back to what I'm saying here. You got your brown sugar, you got your dry ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and mix all that up. Now you can't forget the most important part, in my mind, of most dishes. You gotta add yourself a little bit of garlic. Whether that be fresh garlic or garlic powder this size, we're gonna put some garlic powder. Get that all mixed up in there. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Okay, now we're gonna add our wet ingredients. Got a little bit of rice vinegar here. We're gonna put, I don't know, about a quarter cup. Yeah, soy sauce. Can't forget the soy sauce in a good Pacific Rim dish. Just a little bit of that in there. Gonna put a dash of hot sauce. Nothing too spicy, just enough to give it a good pepper flavor. And a half a can of tomato sauce. Yeah, splashed up a little bit there. You gotta love that, don't you? It's all nice. Go to cook a meal and decides to dress itself on you. Alright, we got that nice and mixed up in there. Taste it, make sure it's good before you set it on the stove. Last thing you want to do is waste your time making something that ain't going to taste good. Make sure you taste as you go. Alright, next thing you want to do is get yourself a good medium-sized pot with a thick base on it. It's great for making sauces. You're going to pour all your liquid in there. And you want to cook that off for about 2 hours. After those 2 hours, go ahead and set it in the fridge, let it thicken up, let all the sauces marry overnight. In the morning, when you pull your meat out, you're going to brush both sides. Cover your meat, put it in the oven at 250 for about an hour per pound. Now, when those couple hours are over, you're going to take it out, you're going to chop it up, put it in a good mixing bowl, pour this sauce over top of it. Make sure it's about room temperature. Don't let that thing sit in the fridge. Put a cold sauce on good hot meat and it doesn't mix well. Go ahead and let this thing sit while you're cooking your meat. Let it sit about a half hour before the meat's done. When the meat is done and the meat is mixed well, you're going to take your Hawaiian rolls, you're going to cut them in half. You're going to fill those rolls. Tomorrow we'll figure out how they taste. Alright guys, we're back here at the house. Going to make that barbecue. Here's the meat I've had marinating all night. Good juices in there. So you're going to take that out. Take it out of the bag. All nice and pink. See how it was marinating? The autumn flavors was soaked up in there. Alright, now what you're going to want to do, get you a good paintbrush, meat brush. You're going to brush that sauce on both sides of your meat. a nice little coating. Make sure you save plenty for when this thing is done. That way you got enough to mix meat up with and make a good barbecue, pull pork out of it. Alright, now that our meat is nice and coated, we're going to get that in the oven at 250. We're going to bake this for about an hour a pound, which for this roast here is about 2.5 hours. I'm going to keep it in there for 3, try and tender it out a little bit. Let you know how it turns out. Hey y'all, the meat should be done. Let's take it out of the oven and see what she looks like. Set that here on the counter. Grab our trusty thermometer. And it's reading a perfect 200 degrees. This should chop up for some nice barbecue. Now folks, when I'm cooking, I don't like to waste anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the fat off of this first. Dog will love that when you get done, you know. Put it back in the pan, fry it up a little bit, get it crispy. They like that as a good treat. Look at that, folks. That looks mighty tasty, don't it? Alright, we got the meat cut up. Next, you're going to grab yourself a nice big mixing bowl. Toss all your meat in there, put your sauce in there. Put it in the mixer for a little while, let it beat the hell out of it until it makes a good barbecue. Alright, and now that we got it all mixed up, what you're going to do is you're going to take these King Hawaiian rolls, sweet rolls here. You're going to slice them straight down the middle. Alright, and now that we've got our rolls cut in half, we'll set one side over here. Take that barbecue you got. Kind of just lather that on top of there. I'm a hungry man. I like a lot of food, type of food high. But you know, I would try and cook from the house. Nice natural ingredients. Nothing too much preservatives or sugars. You make a good natural home meal, you'll always feel better the next day than if you have fast food, pizza, junk food. Make sure you eat well. Alright, we got our meat on there. Now we're going to grab some cheese, slap that on top, put the top on it, and see how good this thing tastes. Alright, we got cheese here. Just sprinkle that on top. Just a little bit. It's barbecue. Don't need a whole lot of cheese on it. Alright. Let's get the top on there and try one of these things. Alright folks, looks like a tasty bite. That is delicious. You can't go wrong with those King's Hawaiian sweet rolls. Alright guys, I've got my Hawaiian barbecue sliders here, King's Hawaiian sweet rolls, and my homemade non-alcoholic sangria. Let's sit down and enjoy me a meal. Have a good afternoon. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank the Sugar Shack for sponsoring this week's show. I hope you guys have a good week. Remember, get out there and enjoy it.